Well, g'day everyone. I think this is I can't even remember how many for online forums we've had now, but we've certainly done a few. So Multicultural Mailer is trying our hardest to help the multicultural community, and we see business as one of the main ways that we can do that. So we've started a monthly business program where we have monthly events that have become quite popular. Then we've got this online forum, which has turned out to be quite the thing. It's been great. And then we've just found out we're going to partner with Logan Office of Economic Development and do a startup program with other programs coming as well. So off the back of this program, we're really able to help the multicultural community into business. So once again, we've got the man himself, Shockett, is the presenter. And I think he looks like he's ready to take over. Are you ready to go, mate?
I'm going. You can hear me clearly?
Yes. If I just switch off my microphone now, you'll be right to go from now.
Go for it. No worries.
Okay. Well, good luck, and I'll talk to you next time.
Cool, thanks. So the
Very much.
Multicultural Business Forum is the place to be. And multicultural means everybody. Everybody has some kind of culture, so don't let that distract us. Now, every week what we're running is, the reality is most businesses, small and family businesses, have a sales and marketing challenge, right? Business development. So they're probably wondering how their peers are able to compete on smaller margins, yet make smaller price, sorry, and yet make bigger margins. How does that work? So if you feel like your peers are beating you on price and still expanding margins in this economy, this tough economy, you're definitely in the right place. We believe in the sacrifice of entrepreneurship. It should be rewarded with true autonomy, not just freedom, not lifestyle, but autonomy, doing business on your terms, or as close as possible, because every industry is different. And it should be about wealth as well. As a business owner, our job is to create wealth for us and our family. But too often it becomes a self-made prison. So a business should serve its owner. That's what we believe. It should be building an asset for the future, not just creating a high-stress job for today. Leave that to the competitors, okay? So it's all about, this whole weekly thing is about creating today's sale, but simultaneously building tomorrow's wealth. Okay, so I usually go through this in all the video, but I'm gonna skip it a little bit. But overall, it's about, I'm sure you hear this online. Is it about building a business or a high-stress job? How would you even know? Right? Because as business owners, we love our business. It's just that our family and everybody else says, hey, get off, can't you get off your phone? Can't you stop thinking about your business? We love our business. But if you're a Gen X, you're over 40, you start realizing, hey, as the white hair grows, beard, you start getting a little bit tired. You're growing, you are not broke, but you are about to be broken, or you're burning out. How do we know? We're the chief problem solver for every fire, big or small. And it feels like a luxury prison. And ultimately, if we take a month off, what happens? Would there be anything left to come back to? And so the market, our challenge now, and we love our business, but the market is that we are a commodity. We want to be different. We know we are different. But how do we communicate that? And how can we stop being seen as everybody else? So, we're constantly being asked for discounts, and we have to compete on price, especially if you're doing quotes and tenders. And I hope when you're doing quotes and tenders, you are charging for it, because otherwise the whole job is giving quotes away. Ultimately, the way we work, it feels like we're working harder in this economy. Yes, interest rates have dropped a few times, but it can feel like we're just running on the same spot. And so there could be a smarter way, and I assure you there is. And so when we look in the mirror, maybe we see Alexandria or Alexander, successful on the outside, frustrated on the inside. We've earned respect from our peers in our industry, as we should have, especially if you're Gen X, you've been there, done that, doing it tomorrow. But inside privately, it's frustrating. We're the hardest person working in our company, only one putting out fires, last one to truly enjoy the rewards, all that effort. So living off credit cards, personal loans, line of credits, it's no fun. That part is no fun. And so the truth is, the demands of the business has outgrown our systems. We started with, and this is not an IT conversation. I've worked in tech. This has nothing to do with IT. Systems, exactly that, systems. Is the business supporting you, or are you still supporting the business after all these years? And the question we're wrestling with is no longer how do I survive, but how do I build a business that finally starts to serve my life, rewarding my work with more freedom, but not just more and more responsibility. Okay, so this week's session is 11 quick ways to add six-figure profit centers. I know how that sounds. At the end of the day, so if someone hires me as an acting director of business development, these are 11 things I think about. And some of it is repeated from the last week, the week before, but they're so critical in this economy where businesses are coming to me, how do I grow? How do I grow? And I'm saying, listen, these are 11 things you really need to look into before you do everything else. Why? Because you're unlocking new but no risk profit streams from the hidden value inside our business. It's already there. It's already within reach. It's quickly implementable, quickly, not because of the profit centers, but because you already have the relationships. And relationships with who? Relationship with existing clients, past clients. They might not be your clients, but you still have a relationship with them, hopefully. And even those who decided not to, convert, so unconverted prospects. Again, you have a relationship with them, right? We take it too personally when people don't buy from us. So you can monetize all three groups: current clients, past clients, patients, and customers, and the ones who never converted. So we're going to explore one of the most prudent and powerful concepts in business growth. So it's not about chasing the next big thing, taking risky new ventures. We want to focus on something much more closer to home, the hidden value, the dormant potential that already exists inside every established business. And this is not my idea. And if you study Dan Kennedy, legends like Dan Kennedy, Jay Abraham, these are the fathers and grandfathers of what you hear today, Alex Hormozi. He learned from their students, Ryan Dice, and Ryan Dice is a student of Dan Kennedy and Jay Abraham, even Bob Serling. So I'd rather just go to the originals. It's just the way I am. So we're going to look at ways to unlock these assets and transform them into new, reliable profit streams. So we're not talking about new sales only, but profit centers, but without requiring any significant upfront cost or financial risk. It doesn't matter if you're making $3 million a year. Ultimately, you're there probably because you don't take too much risk. You take calculated risk. So this is a conversation about working with what we already have to create something remarkable. It begins with an understanding a strategy hidden in plain sight used by one of the world's best, most trusted companies. Okay, but before we get into that, a little bit about me. See, from the out, the reality is my career has is a scenic route. I've been there, done that, being almost 50 now. I didn't start in strategy. I started on the street. I was selling real estate for El Hooker from the top office in Australia, taking on expired listings that market experts couldn't sell and then get them across the line. I was a finance broker, learning how to get deals funded outside of standard policy, the too hard basket stuff. It was pure hustle, and it taught me that nothing happens until a sale is made. So then I spent nearly 15 years, 14 years, 11 months to be exact, inside a corporate giant, the big T, Telstra. So there I saw the other side. I wasn't just chasing sales, I was leading teams to find and plug multi-million-dollar financial leakages. I was using automation, Lean Six Sigma, if you've heard of it, all the fancy corporate buzzwords to build bulletproof systems at massive scale. So for years, these two worlds felt completely separate to me, at a street level hustle and the boardroom level system. And the bridge, the thing that connected it was my Master of Business Administration at the University of Queensland. So this is where I was fortunate enough to make the Dean's Honor Roll. So hats off to myself. But it gave me the framework to connect the dots, okay, to take the robust, scalable systems from the big world, corporate world. You ever wonder how come they stuff up so much, so many complaints, yet they get no shortage of money from government, from the financial markets? And so how do we apply that to the urgent real world needs of business owners who are living the 90-day cash war? So that's my work today. So as a mentor for the Queensland government and a facilitator for this multicultural business forum, my entire focus is on two things. First, we build our fortress. We find the hidden gold in our business so we can command price on our terms with confidence. Second, we build our autonomy architecture. We design the systems that allow our business to thrive without us being the central cog for every single decision. Doesn't mean we're not in it. We enjoy our business. We love our business, but we want to be dispensable. It gives the team a little bit of relief. At the same time, we're building a real business. So just in case something happens to us, the business continues to thrive and is of value to our family. So this is how we create a truly valuable, sellable asset. That doesn't mean we want to sell. Most businesses don't want to sell, but things happen in life. We may have to release equity. Easier to release equity when you have 5, 10, 15, $20 million than let's say $1, $2, $3 million. And even that is a stretch for many businesses. So first, it starts by fixing the fundamental leak in our own growth strategy right now. And what I want to do is just highlight that it's not that a lot of people will think this is just corporate stuff. No, this is you apply today on this call or after this call, and then hopefully start reaping the rewards within days, within weeks. Cool. So before we begin, I'm going to give generic advice. So when I say get started, I want to be very clear. We are responsible for what we do. We are accountable for what we do. We don't make any representation or warranty to the achievement of reasonable of any of this. Now, I don't know you. I don't know your industry. I don't know your individual circumstance, but you do know yourself. So you back yourself up, but have the backup plan. Have a fire extinguisher ready. Start small, fail fast, learn fast. Don't just mortgage your whole house or put everything on the line. Okay, so this session this week is about the connectors advantage. If you've ever had a business account with a company like American Express, and I know American Express gets hated, but think about why they still exist, right? You will probably get a monthly email with exclusive offers, discounts on shipping, office supplies, or a local restaurant. And the first thing you'll notice is that these offers are genuinely useful. They're not random clutter. They are of real service, okay? But the truly brilliant part is what's happening behind the scenes. They don't stock, ship, or provide any of these products or services themselves. They have simply positioned themselves as a trusted connector, a toll gate that links their valuable customer with vendors who sell their things those customers already want. So for every sale that happens through their connection, they receive a toll in the form of a commission. Think about the elegance of this. They take no orders, process no payments, handle no customer service. That's all done by their partners. This means they incur no cost, and the revenue they collect is almost entirely pure profit. 100%, maybe 90%, maybe 95%. So, but it's all done by their partners. This means they incur no cost, and the revenue they collect is, it's pure profit. So it's a simple but powerful engine for growth that not only increases sales, but also builds tremendous goodwill with customers. Right? It's about relationship. If you're in Queensland, you do business because of relationship. So this is the core idea we're going to expand on today. How do you ethically monetize our relationships? And you know what? If a big company like American Express can do it, so can the small ones. And I hear the typical excuse, oh, but I'm so small, nobody wants to partner with me. I will get to that. Okay. So the core principle behind this entire strategy is that it leverages assets that we already possess, but are likely not using to their full capacity. These are our dormant assets. We built it. And if we're honest, most of our assets are at least partially dormant. The key is to learn to see our business in a new light. Most people look at an object and see only the object itself, but a strategist looks at it and sees the hidden potential. So, a classic story is that of Henry Ford, one of the byproducts of making the wooden parts, for the Model T. There was a lot of massive amount of wood scraps, waste basically. Most would see that, right, as waste, but Ford saw it as a dormant asset. So with a bit of research, so he put some effort in, he learned how to turn those scraps into charcoal briquettes. And in doing so, co-founded the Kingsford Charcoal Company. It's still a multi-million-dollar business today, okay? So he turned what others saw as scrap waste into a new dominant industry. The question we must ask ourselves is, what scrap in our business is just waiting to be turned into gold? So let me pause here for a second. He found a second business in the existing business. I can tell you right now, most businesses, and this 20 years of experience, most businesses that are struggling, forget about the ones that are successful, they have 3 or 4 businesses within the existing business. 3 or 4. And so if you're established, you've been around for a few years, you've got a network, chances are you're not fully optimizing the relationship with them. So you're doing a disservice to these people, but at the same time, you're doing a disservice to yourself and your family. So let's start with the first one. We're talking about 11 profit gateways, 6-figure profit centers. The first one is a service broker. And again, it really doesn't matter what business you're in. A very few business, it doesn't apply to a handful of business, just few industry. Majority, it does apply in one form or another. You may have to tweak it. So keep the mind open like a parachute, because that's the only way it works. Let's not just write this off, because all it takes is your peer, or worse, a new competitor, take these ideas and these proven concepts and use it against you. Chances are you're using these 11 profit centers, but I'm willing to bet that you're not fully maximizing what you're already doing. Why? Because you're putting out fires, which goes back to the chief firefighter comment I made earlier. So let's go back to the first gateway. It's an extremely flexible but low effort way to create a new profit center. Perfect for anyone who provides a service, but if you also sell goods or physical products, you can do that as well. So let's say you offer search engine optimization, right, to businesses. Your clients trust you, and because they trust you, they likely ask you about other things they need, like web design, social media marketing, or building a sales funnel. Now, a lot of SEO companies do this to some extent, but they don't fully maximize it. So you don't have the expertise or the desire to build out all those new departments, and see it as a department. Don't see it as a referral. Right? If you think of it as a referral, it's just sales. You approach it as a department, it's a profit center, consistent profit center. Referrals are not consistent. So one is systematic, the other one is ad hoc and haphazard, feast and famine. So you don't have, you become a service broker. I hate the term broker, but it is what it is. You use your industry knowledge to find and vet the very best freelancers or other agencies that provide these services. So when your clients need a project done, you find the ideal freelancer to do the work, and you manage the project. Very important. You manage the project to ensure it meets your high standards. So the freelancer gets a great project. The client solves a huge problem without having to sift through thousands of unreliable vendors online. And you earn a handsome margin for your expertise and project management. You're not selling a new service, you're selling your trusted guidance. Again, I'm putting my senior project manager hat on again from the corporate world. A lot of people know each other. I noticed they knew what it did, but they didn't know how to work more effectively together to achieve their strategic goals, their departmental, functional, achieve project goals. So as a project manager, your job is not just to hand a referral. Your job is to make sure as a client advocate that whoever you're referring to, that the referrer, whoever you're referring to, they want to generate sales, they want a client, but your client wants to achieve an outcome. Your job in this specific first example is to help them and ensure they're achieving the outcome, not just generating a sale for referral. And that's what I mean by this is not a referral affiliate situation. This is literally a department, a system where you're overseeing it and you're actually getting the compensation for it. So the second one is the brand multiplier. So this next gateway is a wonderfully straightforward way to expand your sales with minimal effort. It's called private labeling. Now, Aldi does it, Coles does it, Woolworths does it. A lot of big companies do it. And the question is why? They got all the money in the world to do their own, manufacture their own thing, create product, produce their own things. But it's just smart. You know, you're leveraging your dormant assets. So let's say you have a proprietary recipe for a healthy dog treat, so that dogs absolutely love. So in addition to selling it under your own brand, you can produce the exact same treat for other pet companies. Perhaps a company that specializes in pet toys but wants to add treats to their product line. So you simply package your existing proven treats into bags that have their company's branding on them. So this is a massive win for them. It saves them the considerable time and expense of developing and testing their own product. And it's a huge win for you. You gain a significant increase in income from large, reliable bulk orders simply by extending something you already do. This strategy can be used with practically any proven product or service. It's a product or service. Number 3, this gateway, it's a clever way to add significant profits by cloning what's already working for you. You can quickly set up another website that complements your existing one, but with a different focus to appeal to a distinct market. For example, you know, there's a business that supplies outdoor entertaining, paper plates, plastic cutlery, and so on. They recognized that there was a huge demand from businesses and organizations for larger bulk orders. So they set up a second website where they sell the exact same items, but only by the caseload. So this gives them 3 powerful advantages. First, it eliminates the confusion of mixing individual and case size orders on one side. Second, most importantly, each website can now speak the language of its ideal customer. The message for a family planning a barbecue is very different from the messaging for an office manager planning a corporate event. So by tailoring the language, we're increasing conversions. The result, they saw, 30% growth in sales within the first month, all from an asset they already had. Next one, again, being an acting director of business development, these are the things I look at. How do we maximize what we already have? So this is a community hub. It's an industry-specific social network. Especially the more digital we get, the less connected we are. So this is a huge opportunity in the digital age. So if we want to capture the attention of our prospects and customers in a way that simply can't be matched, this is the great way for us. Nothing else comes close. Think about our own interaction with social networks like Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever. If you're like most people, you visit them many times every single day. So that level of daily interaction produces a familiarity and trust that is incomparable. Now imagine if we create that same dynamic, but specifically for our industry. We become the central hub, the place where everyone in our market goes to connect, share ideas, and stay informed. We're not just a vendor anymore. We are a platform or a community. And when you own the community, we are in an incredibly powerful and profitable position. And so something like this takes time, but when is the right time to get started? Now. You build a strong relationship, strong bond. You build a strong brand as well. It's all in one, all the benefits you can have. So next one, make it once, license it many approach. So it's designed for licensing our intellectual property, our IP to other businesses. So just hold up. People think, oh, I don't have IP. Just hang on. Hear me out. It could be a unique marketing campaign, a proprietary software, a process, how we treat customers, how we take onboarding for staff. Right now, a lot of businesses struggling with staff. So any formula that we've developed that is proven to work and works for us. And the core idea is simple, but incredibly powerful. We can usually make far more money by licensing our IP to others than we can just by using it ourselves. So this makes it once, you make it one, license it many approach, allows us to exponentially increase our sales and our profits, while at this, same time substantially reducing our own time and effort. A way to leverage where we take one proven asset and multiply its impact across many different businesses and even many different industries. And usually the excuse or the objection I hear is, oh, but this is my secret. I don't want competition to know about it. Okay, no problem. But this is licensing. You can sell it overseas. You can sell it interstate. I know car wash companies that license their sign-up process. So instead of relying on one and done people coming to wash their cars, they're subscription models. There are companies in the forestry where they license their clean drying process. Again, so keep the mind open. You don't have to just do it locally. There are a lot of people outside your focus, a lot of businesses, competitors, and even non-competitors who are happy to pay you good money, and you can end up making much more money through this stream. It's a profit stream than you making it from your own primary source of income where you're putting a lot of effort in, and there's no future for that, no guarantee for that. Next, the product development toolkit. So this is about, you want to cut your initial product development cost to zero or as close as possible. So when you use it properly, you can actually get your competition to pay you for development costs. We all know that developing a new product is both time consuming and expensive. And there are many pitfalls that can kill the project along the way. So to avoid all that risk and uncertainty, this strategy offers a much more prudent alternative. So instead of just jumping straight into full development mode, we first negotiate a deal to sell an existing product from another company that is similar to the one we want to create. So this allows us to test our customers' interests with real sales before we commit our own time and money. And this blossoms usually into, like again, why do big companies do this? Why do big companies buy smaller companies? Time. It's all about time, right? Speed to market. So if you can initially partner with another organization, offer their products, and use that to build either your own product or maybe merge later together and both benefit. It just depends on what your situation is. But the whole idea is you want to reverse your risk in product development and make it as close as possible to zero. Next. So one of the most valuable assets we have is the relationship we've built with the people on our email list. This gateway is a way to leverage that relationship quickly and add a new six-figure profit center to our business. The key, once again, is to understand that whatever we sell, our customers will always be in the market for other complementary products and services to achieve their complete goal. We have to think from a customer journey point of view. They're stopping by for us before, during, after, as part of their entire journey. So instead of trying to develop all those things ourselves, we become the trusted resource center. Think about it. When our customer needs a new tool or service, they're faced with a nightmare of trying to figure out what's a good and what's junk from thousands of online search results. Even the reviews, how many reviews are fake? Testimonials. I can buy testimonials tomorrow. So when we step in and eliminate that hassle by recommending products we've already researched and vetted, not like an affiliate. This is not about just making money. As I said, we're talking about generating income, generating wealth. If we want to generate wealth, we need to focus on our relationship, building our relationship and our brand and our trust. If we just want to make money and burn out, ignore this advice. So we vet the products and services for our clients and our relationship, even our past clients, even the unconverted. Think big. We're not just a vendor anymore. We're not just a supplier. We are the indispensable guide. And I know so many business where they make a ton of money from unconverted prospects, the ones then from converted prospects. Okay, so the next one, 8 out of 11, is a two-stage joint venture. So everybody knows that strategic partnerships can be a powerful tool for generating sales and building our list. The good news is they work. The bad news, and it's according to studies, it's up to 90% of proposed strategic alliance deals fail to even get off the ground. 9 out of 10, they don't even get started. Why? The reason is actually quite simple. Built-in lack of trust. So anytime I approach another company with a conventional offer, you promote me, I'll promote you. How new? A number of problems immediately crop up. Who goes first? Is the list size same? Or is there a disparity? Who's got the bigger list? How do I know I'll get paid? So this mistrust kills potential great deals before they even start. So fortunately, the solution is beautifully simple. This strategy eliminates all of those concerns by focusing on one thing, building a strong bond of trust first. And the next one is the beauty is the alliance circuit. The beauty of this strategy is that it significantly builds our email list and increases our sales at the same time. And like all of these gateways, it's actually quite easy to implement. The first step is to identify 5 other companies that sell complementary products or services that our customers want. So you become the 6th member and we form a repeating circuit. So we'll set up deals with each of them to promote each other on a rotating basis. Now again, I'm repeating this. I've done this over the last couple of weeks. So I'm just giving it a quick highlight of what you can do. If you'd like a bit more detail, just watch last week's video or the one before. And number 10, the power of niche focus. So we want to dominate a market. The most difficult way is to go head to head with the established giants. So a much smarter way is to slice that market up into smaller niches and sub-niches and become the absolute best solution for one or more of those sub-niches. So the perfect example of this is Airbnb. Today, they're a global giant valued at over $330 billion. But what many people don't know is they started by serving a tiny niche market, graphic artists who needed an affordable way to stay while attending conferences in San Francisco. So they solved a very specific problem, Airbnb, and for a very specific group. So that niche focus allowed them to get a foothold, prove their model, and then expand. The same can be done in any market. So instead of trying to be the next Airbnb for everybody, what if we became the Airbnb for seniors, or for dog lovers, or for gourmet cooks, or for certain B2B, B2BX markets? There's always niches and sub-niches. It's always difficult to capture share in a large market, but we can quickly dominate a specific niche within it. I tend to focus on Gen X, but Gen X who are established businesses, right? And Gen X is already small compared to millennials and Gen Z, but then Gen X with established businesses are even smaller. Those of us who grew up in the 80s know how to navigate both the analog and the digital life. So I find us truly unique and interesting, even though I'm one of them. Last one. This is the director's chair. It's probably the easiest strategy to describe because even I offer it. It's one of the most difficult for people to pull off, not because of complexity, but because it requires a shift in mindset. Essentially, we're going to work with companies acting as their director of an important area. For example, in my business, I sometimes function as the acting director of business development for a handful of clients. This means I direct the client's team in all their business development efforts. And these are the 11 things I do with them. I work with them. I don't go and implement them, their team does. So I introduce these new, for them at least, but proven and profitable strategies, and I help reduce variability in their activities, adding more value every step of the process. So every step I look at, is it generating more income or at least contributing to it? And is it increasing the company's wealth and equity? If not, we need to review that step in the process. So the thing is, the client's own staff does the actual work for that. So I just direct. So the advantage for the client is that they get all the benefits of a highly paid full-time executive without the full-time salary. Advantage for me is that my compensation is based on a share of the profits I produce. I'm no longer trading my time for a set fee. I'm compensated in direct proportion to the results I deliver. And I deliver with the team. So a lot of it, 80% is their credit, 20% is me, because I'm just directing it. So anyone with a valuable skill set, and again, if you're a Gen X, I promise you have a valuable skill set. You have perspective, especially in this digital age. You can do what you can, you can leverage your talent. It could be a marketing director, financial officer, technology consultant. Yesterday, I was speaking to a BDM of a recruitment firm. And I said, look, he wants to get into business. And I said, well, take off the business hat for a moment. You've been doing BDM. You're very successful. Just go and test the market and offer it. An acting director of business development, and see what they say. Have that conversation first. You'll be surprised. And before you know it, you'll probably end up in a business as well. You'll end up creating a business or become part of a business, and they absorb you into it. And you will have that autonomy you're looking for. All right. So ultimately, it's the power of a single prudent step. So you got so many options. In my case, I got 45 strategies. I like to start off with these 11 that I look at. But even then, with the 11, I will tell a client that, look, let's start with one. So I hope our time together has been valuable, and that you now have a list of practical things you can do to add a new no-risk profit center to your business. But more importantly, I hope I've achieved my main goal, which was to expand the way you think about the opportunities that are already available to you. Don't get distracted by what's happening out there. Don't worry about the macro economy. Focus on the personal economy. The vast majority of businesses are sitting on stockpiles of dormant profits. The only thing holding them back is the ability to see their business in this more expansive way. So you now have that perspective, and you have the practical tools to implement it. So my advice is simply to dig in and start. All it takes is picking one or two of these 11 gateways that are best fit for your business and the easiest to implement quickly. So when you do, you have no risk whatsoever, or you shouldn't. It should be minimal risk. So in return for just a small amount of your effort, you could easily create a new reliable profit center. So jump in, give it a chance. You will be elated with the results. So as you reflect on this presentation, you're probably wondering, how do I implement this? Again, you might need sales within days and weeks, or maybe you want multiple streams of income, or you want to multiply the value of your business. You want to know how these private equity funds generate 10 years of income every 3 years, shifting yourself from owner to investor without the additional risk or cost. But there are a couple of conditions. It's never that easy. Simple does not mean easy. Just to be very clear. So if you have any questions about this, just text MBF, Multicultural Business Forum, and it can be from any culture. Doesn't matter what your skin is, whether your color is, what you eat. You might eat bacon and eggs for breakfast, or you might have mee goreng for breakfast. Doesn't matter. Text MBF to my mobile number you see on the screen, 0430370364. We'll have a conversation. I don't do those strategy sessions. This guy says sales presentations. I don't do sales presentations. We'll have a chat about what you've heard, what you liked, what you didn't like, and see if there's an opportunity to work together. If not, I'm sure it'll be nice to meet you anyway. So usually I do have a Q&A, but today I'm actually at a place where I need to run off. So I will share the recording for this event. And for now, I wish you all the best with these 11 strategies and any other strategies you apply. Business is hard, but it's also rewarding. So just be patient and stay the course. Have a nice day.